Shadow's Return is one of the triumphs needed to complete the Season of the Haunted Seal and earn the new Reaper title in Destiny 2. To finish it, you need to complete 4 separate triumphs, all of which take place on the derelict Leviathan, and each one has multiple requirements to complete. They are not complicated, but might take a little bit of time. Each triumph will be timestamped in the description, so you can jump to the one you need. Let's start with the 2 easiest triumphs. Get to taking out their commanders one by one, and Controlled Burn. As you can see, there are 2 nightmares to defeat for each triumph. These are high value targets that can be found in either the Royal Pools or the Pleasure Gardens. For the Commander's Triumph, this is located in the Royal Pools. When you see the message in the bottom left saying a high value target is nearby, look around for one of the 2. The Nightmare of Kylex the Docked is a Scorn Ogre that spawns in the back left corner if you're looking at the Royal Pools from the entrance from the Castellum. The Nightmare of Evox the Burned is a Scorn Captain that spawns a little bit over to the right. Only one will spawn at a time, and defeating each of these will grant you this triumph. For the Controlled Burn triumph, these high value targets can be found in the Pleasure Gardens. Looking into the gardens from this entrance, the Nightmare of Uark, Spinebreaker, is a Colossus that spawns in the top left, and the Nightmare of Tlazat, Fed to Beasts, is a Scion that spawns in the bottom right. Defeating each of these will give you this triumph. You might have to wait a little for the high value targets to spawn, but once you see the message, you can start looking. However, if you don't see one, that means it's just a regular high value target that spawned, and defeating it won't count towards the triumph. The third triumph is a Guardian is a Guardian even in a Nightmare. For this triumph you need to complete 4 individual triumphs, at the Behest of the Empress, Exile Ended, Battle Lines, and Shared Fears. Starting with at the Behest of the Empress, the location for this is in the Royal Pools. When you see the message Empress Keitel offers support against an approaching threat, head to this corner of the map and you will see this beacon where you can call for help from Keitel, which will start the public event. Defeat all the enemies that spawn in this area and 2 bosses will spawn. Defeat each boss to complete this triumph. The power level for this is actually quite high, so bring some good weapons or some friends to make it a little easier. Exile Ended requires you to defeat a Loyalist commander and release its prisoner. This event can occur in the Pleasure Gardens. There is no text on screen for this, but you can see it almost in the center, and it is easy to spot as there will be a small orange shield dome. Defeat the Shield Warden to complete your triumph. There are actually 2 versions of this event. One will have this Scorn Nightmare inside, like the example on screen, and another will have one of Keitel's Scions inside that will actually help you defeat enemies once freed. Completing either should complete this triumph. Battle Lines is a public event that can happen in either the Pleasure Gardens or the Royal Pools. If you see the text, Loyalist Sentinels have fortified a position, then the public event has started. Look for a huge orange dome and defeat everything inside to spawn a Major, and defeat this Major to move on to the next location. Do this 3 times and you will spawn the Loyalist Sentinel Commander. Defeat the Commander to complete your triumph. Shared Fears is another public event that can happen in either of the 2 locations. The public event will start when you see this message. 3 powerful nightmares haunt the Leviathan. Each of these nightmares is a named Scorn Captain, and they are not the random nightmares you see. You're looking for the Sunken, the Forgotten, and the Drowned. They are not difficult to find, and defeating each of them will spawn Sekik, Seeker of the Deep. Defeating it will complete the triumph, and that completes all 4 triumphs for a Guardian is a Guardian even in a Nightmare. The final triumph is Fever Dream. This contains 4 triumphs that need to be completed, 2 in the Pleasure Gardens and 2 in the Royal Pools. All 4 of these triumphs are at a higher power level, so bring some good gear or have some people with you. Sporists of Beasts is in the Pleasure Gardens. When you see a message, a distant snore of sleeping more beasts, head to the location on screen and defeat all the enemies that spawn in to spawn the Nightmare of Karun, Beastmaster, who when defeated completes this triumph. Nightmare Breached is also in the Pleasure Gardens. The text you're looking for is A Sword and Shield Clash Together. Head to the location on screen, defeat all the enemies to spawn 2 bosses, the Sword and Shield. You must defeat both to complete this triumph. Drainage is in the Royal Pools. When you see the text, a red laser dot passes briefly over your ghost, head to this location. Defeat all the enemies in the tunnel, including the Nightmare of Kalek, the sniper, to complete this triumph. Finally, Ritual Under Shadow is also in the Royal Pools. When you see the message Dark Ether thickens the air, head to a little hole in the back wall of the main area where you will find some nightmares. There are 3 little torch-like structures on the ground. Approach each one to perform a summoning ritual so that the boss will spawn. Defeat the Nightmare boss to complete this triumph and also complete Fever Dream. Once you have claimed all these triumphs, you will have completed Shadow's Return. This triumph might be a little time consuming depending on how long it takes for each event to spawn for you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully this guide was able to help you. If it did, leave a like and subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time.